Hi, welcome to Glow's Kindred Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today I wanted to share a recipe with all of you. It's called herb bread. And the first time I was introduced to it is when Richard and I went over to a friend's home for lunch. And she made us herb bread along with some soup. And I gotta tell you, the bread was delicious. It was like something I never had before, as well as her soup was awesome. But ever since then, I have been making this bread. And one of the ingredients in it, I was shocked at. It's cottage cheese. And what you do is you take your cottage cheese and you blend it with a hand blender. And then you warm it up, and I have it warm. You don't want it too warm where it's going to kill the yeast though. So I had this at about 120, and I'm sure it's gone down by now. You want it to be around 105 or between 105 and 115 is ideal for using yeast. But anyway, I added 1/4 cup of water to this because most yeast, you bloom them with water and sugar. But this particular yeast that I'm using today is a platinum one by Red Star. And they recommend that you blend it in with your flour. Right here, I have 2 1/4 cups of just all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And then to that, I'm going to put this yeast, just 1 pack. And I'm going to go ahead and stir that up just so it's blended.
Where do you get the yeast, Miss Glow?
At the grocery store.
Any grocery store have it? Okay.
Yeah. In the baking section.
Yes.
So the next thing you want to add is 1 beaten egg, not well beaten, just slightly beaten. So let's go ahead and just pour that right in here too. And it also calls for 1 tablespoon of melted butter. There we go. And it calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar. And you mix all of this right in with the cottage cheese. And then it calls for 1 tablespoon of minced onion. And I used the dehydrated onion, and then I just added water to it. So this is 1 tablespoon, so I add 1 tablespoon of the dehydrated onion and 1 tablespoon of water, and you let it set for 10 minutes. And I don't use dehydrated onion a lot, but in this recipe it works really good. So then the next thing you want to add is 2 teaspoons of dill seed. I already measured that out. 1/2 teaspoon of dill weed. And then you want 1 teaspoon of salt. If you don't have a real steady hand, don't do this like this over the bowl. Do it, away from it, because you could end up with too much salt, and that would not be good. And then we need 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and it says to add it to the wet ingredients. So now we're just going to stir this up. It looks yummy, doesn't it?
Looks good, Miss Glow.
It smells good too. You can really smell that dill. So the next thing you want to do is I'm going to add this to my mixer. Let me make room here for us. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Can you see in there, Richard?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good.
Yes, we can.
And if you guys want to make this recipe along with me, what I would recommend you do is look down on the right-hand side of the video. There's like a little arrow that points down. If you click on that, you will get to all the ingredients. You can get all the ingredients ready and we can do it together. I try not to waste anything. So,
Especially at today's prices.
oh yeah, isn't that the truth? It's horrible. So what you want to do next is start to add in the flour slowly. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. I have my whisk in here. The dough, that's like a dough hook rather.
Right.
And the goal here is you just want to get everything blended really well. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to add this flour mixture here, and I'll be back with you just as soon as I get to the next step. Hi, well I got all of it mixed well with the dough hook there, and now what we need to do is to put this in a warm place, covered with a damp, warm towel for an hour. So first of all, I'm going to put it in this other bowl because this bowl here, we don't need this size. Just trying to get all of the extra dough out of here so we don't waste. There we go. Yep. So let me just move that over here. So now you can see what we have going on here. And I went ahead and I dampened my cloth. This is just one of those white tea towels. And we're going to cover it. And then what I do is I have found that if I take and warm up a cup of water in my microwave, and then, which I did prior to us even starting this, and the cup of water is still in there and it's in the corner, far corner. And I'm going to set this in here in the microwave, just like this, and it's going to sit for an hour. And at the end of that hour, this dough should be double in size. So we'll be back in just a little, well, in an hour. See ya. Well, our dough's been rising in my microwave for about a half an hour, or about an hour. So look how beautiful that is.
Looks good.
So now what they say you do is you punch it down. So you just kind of go like that. Let me get some of this on my hand. This will help. Should have done that first. That'll work. By greasing your hand, it helps so that the dough doesn't stick to it like it did. Also, if you wet your hands, it'll do the same thing. I had just dried my hands off from washing them, so. So what you're supposed to do is once you punch this down like we did, see how it reduced in size?
Yes.
We're going to put this over in this buttered pan, and I just use spray pan, the butter kind, and you just want to put that in here. They say a 2-quart casserole dish, but I don't have a 2-quart, but I have a 3-quart, so that'll work. I had 1 quart, 1.5, and a 3, so this will be fine. So the next thing is we're going to let this rise for 30 minutes in the microwave. And I went ahead and I heated up that water again. I'm going to put it in the back corner. I'm going to go ahead and wet my towel again and put that over the top. And I'll see you in 30 minutes. Well, I just took our dough out of the microwave. It was sitting in there for another half hour. And it's supposed to double in size, and it looks like it has.
Looks good, Miss Claw.
Yes, and I can smell that dill in there already. And what prompted all of this today for a meal is one of our subscribers, Angel. She had asked me to make a soup out of some of the potato stock that I always save. I use it quite often for soups and also for gravies. It's delicious. But anyway, today I'm making a green bean and potato soup, and I'll have a video on that. And with this bread, one will have a thing at the bottom to take you a link to take you over to that. But anyway, I have my oven preheating to 375 degrees. I'm going to cook this in the oven for 15 minutes at that, and then I'm going to lower the temperature to 300 for an additional 25 minutes. So I'll be back in about 40 minutes and we'll see what it looks like. Hi, well, I just took our bread out of the oven, and this particular loaf only took 35 minutes total. So isn't that beautiful?
Very nice, very nice, Miss Claw.
The next thing you're supposed to do is to brush it with melted butter. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It smells really good. It's going to go so well with this soup, too.
Yeah, between that and the soup, smells really good in here.
And it's just 1 tablespoon of melted butter. So there we go. Now I'm going to let this cool in the pan for a little bit, and then I'll be removing it and let it finish cooling on the rack. So we should be back probably in about 40 minutes or so, and we'll try it out. Well, we went ahead and we sliced her bread, and I'll tell you, it is delicious. It smells so good. You can make this recipe with other herbs as well. I have done it in the past with rosemary, sage, fennel. You know, you do what you want to pair with whatever you're going to have for dinner. But I followed the recipe pretty much right on today because of our soup that we're having with it that has green beans, potatoes, and dill in it as well. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. This is so good, you guys. It's very moist from the cottage cheese. This is something definitely you need to try. And as you can tell, it was super easy to make. And again, Angel, thank you for asking me to make this soup tonight. It pairs so well with this bread. I wish you were here to have some with us. And everybody, I hope you guys have a great day. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it. Bye.